Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Out of the Park Baseball. It's episode number 8, and we are within 2 weeks of the start date of the season, and the waiver wire has really kicked off. Now, I've discovered a lot of the ineligibility issues that I have on signing guys, whether it's from waiver wire or making trades, has to do something with Major League talent. Some major league talent I do have access to. I think it's more like the guys that are in minor leagues, or I don't know, where they fall into a small amount of time and service. The championship, we definitely have eligibility for those guys. Our own level, we have eligibility on those guys, but the major league ones is a bit hit and miss. Majority are inaccessible. But one thing that I am finding is 48 hours ago, there was one player on the waiver wire. Now, with their season just about to start, we're seeing a ton, a huge influx of waived players at the major league level because they're having to cut their rosters down for opening day. And as a result, we're picking up some players that are going to be essentially the best on our team immediately, potentially anyway, depending on how well we are scouting these guys. And some of them are quite young, and that seems to be one of those like marks. I mean, I'd love to get this guy. He's only 26, but a 27, 24, 23, 27-year-old are all the ones that I have been able to get after, and relievers is something I'm really short on. So I'm happy to go after these guys, and majority of them rather small contracts. So that's something helpful for us to get after them. We are dipping into the waiver wire market at the moment, which is going to give me a whole bunch of extra players that I can then take some weaker players and flip those, and we might have ourselves a team here in a short period of time, plus some minor league potential. Well, things flipped in an instant. So that waiver wire yesterday, like 90 players available. Today, it's down to 17, and all of those players that I put in for were claimed by others. That has happened, and most of those guys are right here on this list. They're actually still out there. If I clear my filter, yeah, it's up to 98 actually today. You can see the claim team. We are, I think, almost all of those major league claims. The championship teams above us have stepped in to claim these guys. And at the moment, anyway, there is nothing we can get after. Looks like there's one player who's been unclaimed, and I can see why. He is a 34-year-old reliever, 2.5 stars for us, getting paid $15 million. No wonder nobody's claimed him. But the first one that remains unclaimed is a current 2-star, potential 2.5-star guy, making just above league minimum at 24 years of age. He's okay. We'd be getting him for free. In the end, I've been able to claim 3 players here on April the 1st. So 3 players have joined the organization. So there you go. We've picked those guys up for free. Definitely not as good as what we had previously, but here is our first update of the year on player development. Let's hope that we've seen some progress here over the last month from where these guys were when they first reported for spring training. 23-year-old Aaron Perry has gone from 1.5 star to 2.5 star rating. I just traded for Ruben Navarrete, and he looks to be good. We've reevaluated him from initially he was a 2-star guy, but now our scouting department sees him as a 2.5 star guy. So I'll take that. That's good, and that looks like he could actually make an impact at our senior level. Quick look at the 3 players we just picked up off the waiver wire. Rodolfo Sanchez, starting pitcher, 23 years of age, 2-star current, 2.5 on the potential. He's got a really good slider, pretty good fastball as well. And his stuff, yeah, it's nice. It's not easy to hit, but he doesn't have the greatest control. Doesn't have a ton of movement, though he's got some room to develop there. Stamina only a 45, even though he's a technically a starter. I think this guy is more of a reliever, but he is on a minor league contract. So hopefully that means I could actually just put him into the system and not into the senior level, but we'll see. Reliever Aaron Pinto, just 26 years of age, has really good stuff, good enough movement and control, good fastball and curveball. Won't be the easiest pitcher to hit coming out of Cleveland, where he started the year at AAA, finished at the major league level, and did good in the 7 innings that he was up there. I was able to put that guy on the minor league contract into the AAA team, so we were good on that part. So we just acquired somebody for free that's not even taking a roster spot for us. And meanwhile, the third guy here, Luke Raley, is a 3-star right fielder. That's a big boost because I don't think I have any 3-star players in our outfield. Contact 50, gap power 40, home run power. It's fairly solid at a 60. And he's going to do an okay job on his discipline, his avoiding strikeouts. And he came from Tampa Bay, where last season, after starting the year in AAA, it looks like he got called up fairly early. Got 75 starts, a total of 89 games. That's, roughly half the season. He had 300 plate appearances, scored 34 runs, had 10 doubles, 16 home runs. That's power. 51 RBI for Tampa Bay in the major leagues. While 245 is not great for us, a 50 contact, you would imagine he's going to easily hit 300. This is a steal, and while he had a 1 on his wins above replacement, I would imagine this is the kind of guy who's going to, for us, probably be right in the middle of the lineup. He's only making $700,000, and he bats left-handed. Yeah, I'm happy. Right field, left field, could play left, first or center, but definitely looking at him as a right fielder, left. 28 years of age. This is your guy who was ready to start, but just couldn't quite cut it for Tampa Bay. Didn't have room to hang on to him. They probably signed somebody who's a little bit better than him. And I could see why they would want to do that. I mean, this is not a fantastic player, but for us, this is a really good player. We've landed another player. This one a little bit unknown, but hopefully not wildly off base. The OSA ratings and my head scout ratings are accuracy is low, but we're looking at 3.5 to 5 stars. If we are off by a bit, he's still going to be a really good player. If we're off by a ton, well, we're going to have to eat some salary. But just 25 years of age, only making $700,000, maybe some really good stuff, really good slider. It is a reliever. Definitely doesn't have stamina, so he's definitely a reliever. But we'll see what happens. He was good enough to play for Cleveland last season, have a great time in 16 innings. But if he's good enough to play for Cleveland, they saw something in him. And we finally reached that opening day, for us anyway. Opening day for the league was a few days back. We had a day off on that first series, and we've missed out totally on the first weekend series. But you know what? I'm excited for the progress that we've made with this roster. The complete overhaul. I'll be honest with you. I was worried when we started that prospect because we literally had 2 pieces that had any sort of quality. Now, from that original group that started last season, I don't know for sure. Okay? But I think that I have 1 or 2 players left on the entire 25-man roster. That's it. We have completely changed this roster. Sorry, 26-man roster. So used to baseball being 25 for just decades and decades and decades, and suddenly it's 26. Anyway, our lineup lacking the punch of Flint and Pedrero, but Luke Raley as a 3-star guy, and a lot of very solid 2.5-star players, and a couple 2-star guys that are right there on the edge of being 3-star players. Nothing is worse than 2 stars. on our entire 26-man roster, with one exception. Our backup catcher is 1.5 star. Our starting catcher is 2 stars. I have struggled to fill out that one. Our only player over the age of 28, possibly in the entire franchise, is our 2-star catcher in Luke Mealy. And that is simply because I cannot get my hands, at least in the short term, on anybody else. I think we're going to be quite a bit better than last season, not just by a handful of games. I think we're going to do quite a bit better than that. Now, our first test is the Irving Keystones. And you could see in our head-to-head matchups, we are neck and neck. I mean, we are favored in 5 matchups. They're favored in 5 matchups. So that's awfully close. That is awfully close. Huh. Okay. Well, let's get into the game and see how we perform. Again, it's one game. There is so much more of the season ahead of us. One game doesn't matter, win or lose. But I'm excited to see kind of the new squad, and you can see just how much younger we are. I mean, we have 32-year-old. We do have, I mean, guys mostly in their prime, right? There's only one under 25 player in this group right now that find themselves the best bet for us. But regardless, there's hope for this team going forward, where a season ago it was there was a whole lot of pessimism out there. Strike out on the opener, pop up on the second guy. I'm going to try to speed this up a bit. Quick 1-2-3 inning to open this game. We are at home for this one. We head to the bottom of the first with a very nice inning. None of those plays, none of those at-bats looked threatening at all. And there is a deep ball heading out. Wow, what a start here to our season. We have a quick 1-2-3 in the top of the first, and then we open with our very first at-bat of the season with Garrett Hampson, the new second baseman. And he goes deep to left center with a ball well into the bullpen. Our second at-bat goes right there towards the same bullpen, though this one is going to come up a little bit short. We draw a walk here with the third at-bat. And our fourth at-bat also in the gap. And, you know, here's the difference. Even though we've experienced a couple of outs already, everything has been, until that one, that was the first really, truly routine play. Another pop-up here in the top of the second. Really happy with our early lead in this one, but it's only one run. There is plenty of time for this thing to change. That was a full count inside ball. I mean, at least from the visualization piece, it certainly looked like it was close to the plate. And there's the third out. Questionable that we went to first on a ground ball to the shortstop when there was either A, a chance to get the double play, or B, at least get the lead runner. But after we allow him to advance, we finish the job and get out of that inning without any harm done. And one walk is all we've given up through the first 2 innings and 7 batters faced. That one is going to go for a hit. In fact, it gets past the shortstop, but that was going to be a hit either way, even if he picks that one up. That was a slow roller. That was going to be really hard to do anything. And second baseman eats that one, opts not to go for the double play, and in all honesty, that was probably a good choice as we go back deep to the warning track, and that one almost goes to the home bullpen for what would have been our second home run of the game already. But instead we head to the top of the third. Opening with another walk. Interesting based on what I have from this pitcher. What we get from this pitcher who is up is, that one slides through. An interesting choice to take the throw towards home when they're just runners on first and second. No advancement there. That's the first out of the inning, so we do have ourselves in a little bit of trouble for the first time, but double play opportunity here, and no, we don't go for the double play. Wow, that was more than enough time to complete the double play on that one, but we opt out of it. We walk. Was that intentional? No, it was a 3-1 count on that. Oh, that's going to get through. Pitcher probably had a chance to catch that one, but he doesn't, and that's going to score 2, and we trail 2-1 now. Into a little bit of trouble on this. This pitcher has good stuff, but he doesn't get any movement. He's got good control, but he's definitely on the low side for the movement to his pitches, which means he is kind of hittable, but he's high velocity. He's like a 98 to 100 mile an hour starter. Good hit to open the bottom of the third. We absolutely would love to respond quickly, but this is a potential double play. No, he's going to eat it too. I don't know what's going on with these two teams and why neither one is opting to attempt to turn 2. This should advance the runner. Oh, he's going to hang on to that one entirely. He needed to really charge that one. This one's going to fly deep. We're thinking about the tag. Do we advance? We are advancing, and the throw is not in time. Runners now at the corners with 2 outs. But we are not able to capitalize on the advanced position as they make the routine play as second base for the 3rd out. Not a bad game. We've certainly been more threatening offensively, but one bad inning has cost us. That ball was very playable, and he ends up with a double out of that one. It was hit directly at our third baseman. I believe that would be Luke Williams, who we did pick up mid-season last year when we started the trades. This one going pretty deep, but the catch is made right at the edge of the warning track. That's easy for the runner to advance to third. And that's only 1 out. That was a squeeze. Squeeze play worked. Whew. Okay. I'll never forget how to play as a 17-year-old ball player. Where I was on third and I got a ton of steals. I had great pace, and I could really, at 17, there weren't a lot of pitchers who were good at holding guys on base, and I would torment pitchers. I'd take huge leadoffs, and I think I only ever got thrown out once, ever, playing baseball. But I'd take very aggressive leadoffs and then go and steal second, and then go and steal third. Well, one of these times I had already stolen a couple bases, and I was on third, and we desperately needed 1 run, and so coach opted for the squeeze play, and I go on the pitch. I'm going home, and the bunt's supposed to be happening, and the bunt was missed, and I was safe at home. I straight stole home on that missed squeeze play. And the catcher didn't miss the ball. He caught the ball. But I went so aggressive so early that I got in there safe. Be an easy out on this one. It is. They added 1 more run in the top of the 4th, so it is 3-1 at the moment. That one is hit hard. That's hit deep. Dive! And the catch is made. That is the 2nd out of the inning. We had a great chance to get a double on that play, but a fantastic defensive play holds us up, and the inning amounts to nothing. And suddenly, with 4 hits apiece, they're looking a little more deserving of their lead at the moment. As that one slices the other way, but it's going to stay fair and lead to a double. This is the bottom of the 5th inning, by the way, so that is us. And we are going to score a run on that one. We get on the board here in the 5th, cutting the lead to just 1. That was our double down the line, and that was another double to follow it up, I think. Or no, he held up at first. Ooh. Looking at the curveball on that one, that leads to strike number 3. Just the first out of the inning. We still have a runner on first, and pull that one down the line, but the first baseman, unlike our guy, able to hang on to it and make the out. It is the second out of the inning, but with a walk to Valadares, we now have runners in first and second, and that's going to get over. That's going to drop fair, and we are advancing. That's going to get a run that ties the game at 3 with runners on the corner. We are still very much in this thing here in the 5th inning. Kyle Holder, that line drive didn't have too much behind it and leads to a fairly easy catch, but we do score 2 runs in the inning and draw level. We have ourselves a game with just 4 innings remaining in this one. Also with those 3 hits as we open the top of the 6th with a hit by pitch. My nickname as a kid, age of 12, maybe 13, was the human ball magnet. I actually frustrated pitchers to the point that I had probably at least 1 hit by pitch per game that season. So what I did was, I was the smallest guy in the entire league. I was tiny. I am 5'6" now as an adult, but I was much smaller then. That was off the wall. And we are safe for the double to open here at the bottom of the 6th. That was huge. We just get that one over the head of the center fielder, and that was Melee. That was the catcher. Ooh, aggressive play going to third on that one with the ground ball there. Third baseman had a small chance to turn around and dive and maybe get the tag out. This one is going to go deep. Way back. Home run. 3-run homer. And that's going to double our score and give us a 3-run lead. It's 6-3. Wow, what a hit there. That one just getting over the wall. Anyway, back to the story here. So I was the smallest player in the entire league. And I would crowd the plate. I was left-handed, and at age 12, a lot of righties don't face too many lefties, as that one in the gap is going to keep us moving. Easy double here. Stand-up double, and we are still threatening. No outs in the inning. No outs, and we've already scored 3 and continued that run with another runner on. This one is going to drop in there as well. That's going to score a 4th run for the inning. No, it doesn't. We hold up. Oof. No idea why Melee wasn't sent home on that one. I think he would have gotten there quite easily. Anyway, left-handed hitter. Tiny. And what I would do, as that was a line drive out there. We have 2 outs now. Ball 4 there is going to load up the bases. And that's going to drop. For potentially 2, the slide. The tag is late. 5 runs now in the inning. It's 8-3. We have exploded over the last 2 innings with 7 runs to take a pretty comfortable lead in this one. Chizik comes in and gets the strikeout and finally ends the punishment, but not before we have done some significant damage. Anyway, I'd crowd the plate. I'd get right up into the upper corner, front corner of the box. I had this crazy low stance where I was tucked in nice and low, so my strike zone was tiny strike zone, and I had a really good eye. I was really patient as a hitter, so I would draw a ton of walks. I on-base percentage was better than 800 that year. I actually ended up winning for our league, it was a co-MVP. And I was one of the 2 winners of that co-MVP that year. And most of it came down to this just insane on-base percentage. And it came one of 3 ways. Singles, because I'd wait for the perfect pitch right down the middle. I was constantly looking for a fastball down the middle, otherwise not swinging. And so if I had the fastball down the middle, I had a really easy time. And that one's going to get through. 2-out single. I'd pop it over the second baseman's head or straight back up the middle, past the pitcher. Or I'd draw the walk. Or, out of frustration from not being able to hit the strike zone and from having walked me once or twice already in the game, I'd end up with that late game hit by pitch. But I'd take my base, and then I'd steal second the first pitch, and then I'd steal third the next pitch. And I scored a ton of runs. I didn't get very many RBIs, but I scored a ton of runs. I was the leadoff hitter all the time as a kid growing up. Play center field, left field, or first base. When I was real young, I played second base, but being a lefty, I got forced out of that position awfully quick. The only reason why I didn't play first base more often was because I was too short. Throws over my head. But eventually they found that I had hops. I could jump really high, so those overhead throws, I could at least jump up and retrieve them so they weren't pass balls. This one's going deep, and it's another home run, and we are adding a 9th run here in the bottom of the 8th, and it looks like we are going to come away very comfortably, potentially, with our first win in our season opener. We've got 3 outs left to acquire. They still have 2 more to get themselves to potentially stop us from doing even more damage and getting double digits in our season opener. A walk there. No. We're walking to the bench. Back to the dugout. That was a strike. Looking. Nice diving catch there to end the inning. And we do head to the top of the 9th here. 6-run cushion. They've never added to those 4 hits that they had through the first 4 innings. They have been hitless through the last 4. Can we make it 5? Can we get 3 up, 3 down to end this first game? No, this one's going to drop fair. Hopefully a quick throw will stop them from heading to 2, and they don't even try. Easy single there. 100-mile-an-hour on that one. Brickhouse is still in, by the way. This is still our starter. Double play? Yes, nice. 2 outs now. Runner on third, but, we're not worried about him with a 6-run lead. There's the end of the game, and that is a complete game win for Brickhouse. Not a big ace or anything, and that's the thing. This season, what we're looking at, we're looking at a team that has no great strengths. Our lineup has no great hitters. Our pitching staff has no great pitchers. Our relievers, there's no amazing players anywhere on this roster. All 26 of them. But outside of the 2 players that we had that do fit that profile a year ago, the drop-off was immediate. And at least 20 out of the 24 remaining players were worse than every single player, not only on this roster, but my AAA roster. And most of those 20, probably 10 or 15 of those players, were worse than all of my Major League roster, my AAA roster, my AA roster, and were probably only good enough to be on what is my single A roster now. That's how bad our team was. And again, with just 1 or 2 exceptions, the entirety of our 26-man roster right now is better than that. So I have a team of the third, fourth, fifth best players that we had on the roster a year ago. A whole team of them. And outside of one player, they are significantly younger. So I am excited. I don't think we are going to go to the playoffs this season, but you better believe that we are going to win a whole lot more games than we did a year ago. And we've definitely opened the season with a good start to that. And the guy who's supposedly our best player just had one hit in this game. And he left 5 teammates on base. He had a rough day. Salazar had a rough day, 0 for 5. But we had 15 hits as a team. Our top of the lineup, 3, 2, and 4 hits. We had 9 hits from the top 3 guys in the order, plus a walk. So 10 times getting on base for that group, and just 1 strikeout from that group. Just 6 strikeouts from the entire team. Harris with a couple of those. He had either a hit or a strikeout every time he got on up to bat in this game. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And we only gave up 6 hits and a few walks. So basically 1 per inning that they were able to get on. We added 3 home runs to those 15 hits. Okay, Sydney did come in. So Brickhouse pitched 7 1/3. Sydney came in to close out the game. And I think Sydney is set up as my long reliever. So actually surprising that he got in for that one. However, it was comfortable, the lead at that point. 6-run lead. You don't worry about it too much when you're up by that much. But yeah, great start to the season. Really impressed by what we're doing. Yeah, like I said, the entire roster is the equivalent of my third, fourth, fifth best players from a year ago. So I really do think with the crazy amount of depth that we now have throughout the lineup, even though we don't have any standout players, I think there's enough guys that it's easy to have your number 4 hitter go 1 for 5, your number 5 hitter go 0 for 5, and still have 15 hits and still score 9 runs because there's enough quality. Holder, Maley, Harris, they're not great, but even those 3 guys still had 4 hits and a couple walks. So between those 3 guys, they got on base 6 times. That's the bottom end of the lineup. I do think Valladera's only had 1 hit, but he had 2 walks. He got on base 3 times alone. I do think it is entirely possible to have 2 or 3 guys in the lineup have a bad day and still score plenty. Now, are we going to get 15 hits every game? I doubt it. I highly doubt that. Plus, this wasn't their number 1 pitcher. This was probably their number 4 pitcher that we faced today. So remember, everybody else opened the season a few days ago. We're not going to be heading into the playoffs or anything like that, especially without a couple stars, without a few high-end talents. But I do think this team, top to bottom, is going to perform a hell of a lot better than what we saw a year ago. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see a lot of guys hitting 280 or better with plenty of RBI, plenty of runs scored, and a pitching staff that's not going to get bullied around the way we saw a year ago with a bunch of guys with ERAs over 6, a couple of them hitting 9 and 10. I don't think we're going to see anything like that. I think we're going to see a lot of guys with an ERA around 3, 4, 5. Just steady. But if we can give up 3, 4, 5 runs a game, I think this is an offense that can score 4, 5, 6 runs a game. So I'm excited for the season to come. Let's go ahead and start pushing forward just a little bit. That's going to do it for this season opener. We are going to be pushing forward off camera, and then we are going to start quickly making our way through the season. But unlike last season, we are not due wholesale changes any longer. The waiver wire is still something I'm going to be watching closely. And if I have to clear roster spots, then we'll clear roster spots with the weaker end talent as we go along. So there will be changes. We will continue to look to improve. That's not something that's going to suddenly stop. But this is a team that's already gone through the major changes. At the moment, I don't have changes to continue making. But as we acquire more talent, as we have our draft coming up in a month, there will be changes to be had once that process happens. But for now, 3 out of 5 minor league teams are stacked with potential and or semi-talent. And I'm loving our 26-man roster at the moment. At least where it is now compared to where it was. I'm a Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.